Hi, Eddie. Thanks for joining me today. It's always a pleasure to see you. How have you been?
I'm here. I'm still breathing.
Oh, that's great.
I'm living in Prince Edward County, and it's a beautiful thing. And my wife and I are very happy here. I have my little studio. You can see some of the stuff behind me, and yeah, it's working. I mean, it's the way of the world. You know, I did a 180-degree pivot. Probably. Well, let's see. COVID came in. I remember very clearly. I was at NAMM show, and then came back to Toronto, then went back to LA.
Yep.
And my last gig there was in February. I was doing some more Hendrix stuff.
Yep.
You may have heard of that guy, but anyway. And then COVID came in, the whole bloody thing, my whole world, our world, music world was shut down, and I had to figure out pretty quickly as to, I mean, I knew about people doing stuff online, but it never really entered my world too much.
Right.
And I did a lot of research and called up a few friends, and I heard about this thing called Audiomovers, which is two guys who used to work for Waves, of all places, of course. Yes. Waves, we think a couple of smart geezers, and there they are, and they came up with this program, and I checked it out, and I said, wow, this is a game changer, because there's almost zero latency.
Yes.
And, you know, I gradually started to build up my little home studio thing, a couple of speakers and headphones and a laptop. The good news was that I have a very dear friend, who we're now in partnership with, Jason Bordeaux. He has a studio down in Toronto. Actually, he has 3 studios in the same building. And very bright young man.
Mm-hmm.
And we hooked up so that his Pro Tools system and mine all became sort of locked up. And then I started to reach out to people who were sending me emails, hey, could you mix this for us? And then all of a sudden it just exploded. And the coolest thing is we did this session with a band called the Black Moods. It's a great rock band, great guitar player, by the way, fantastic, Josh Kennedy. The whole band's fabulous. They were based in Tempe, Arizona. They had a warehouse where they kind of lived part of the time, and they had a truck and a trailer and the whole thing with all of their gear. They actually, their front of house guy was into Pro Tools. They set up their whole thing. They recorded most of their album there, and they were jumping up the charts. They've been at it for 10 years, these guys. You know, there's no overnight success, right?
Right.
And I said, look, we want to record, and we're going down to our manager's house down in Missouri someplace. Great. I said, well, if you're going to go there, let's bring all your stuff, and we'll set the band up there. And we did 3 days of live recording, me in Toronto, my engineer down at his studio, and them down there. Everything was synced up, no latency.
Wow.
So I moved that mic, move that, let's just see your mic breathe, blah, blah, blah. And we were just working it. And we cut the tracks, we overdubbed, and then they went away to do whatever they did on the road. I mixed in the box.
Yeah.
With my partner Jason. We sent it to them. They listened. They got back to us and say, hey, you know, can you do blah, blah, blah? And sometimes they were actually watching the mix go down in real time.
Yeah.
That is my world in a nutshell.
Yeah, so you're not just mixing. You can actually do the tracking sessions and everything, just like you're on the other side of the glass.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
Startling. That is fantastic. I saw just very recently that documentary came out, Money, Music, and Madness.
Oh, Music, Money, and Madness.
Sorry.
And, cool, yeah. You could say it any way you want.
The 3 M's. And also the Live from Maui came out, which I just heard recently. And the really fascinating thing about that is, 6 weeks before Jimmy's passing, you know, we could hear his kind of guitar voice at the time, you know, moving away a little bit from, you know, the Foxy Lady period and into the things he was going to. And of course, he's trying to get back to the new studio that you and John were building for him. So it's kind of a really interesting snapshot.
Yeah, you're afraid you mean John Stark.
John Stark.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating story because what we've been working on just recently is a documentary, as you well know, about how this all came about. But if you look 3 weeks before Jimmy went to Hawaii to do this big show, it's in Honolulu. It was massive, 16,000 people. I mean, in those days, Jimmy was making about 100,000 plus per show, and that was an enormous amount of money in 1970, right? 100,000 then was probably worth what, 250, 300,000 by today's standard, whatever.
Easily, I would think, yeah.
And it was a great show, apparently, and I was back at Electric Lady. We were doing mixing and whatever. So that 3-week period, just before we went out to Hawaii, we were in the studio together. We cut tracks, we overdubbed, we mixed, we did a whole bunch of work. I mean, it was part of The Cry of Love.
Yes.
The album we were working on. When he gets to Hawaii, does the show, and then his manager says to him, "Hey, Jimmy, listen, we're going out to Maui. You want to come with us and hang out? You know, we've got a little concert we want you to do." And he conned Jimmy into going over there. Okay, fine. They thought, the band, the experience, thought, wow, this is part of our vacation, because this was their vacation time. Boy, they got sold the bill of goods. So they arrive out there, and Jimmy says, "Yeah, okay, fine, I'll do it." You know, we didn't want to cause any grief. But in the end, he enjoyed playing it, because when you watch the video, he's having a good time. He's communicating with the audience, he's laughing, winking at them, you know, and he's playing great. The band were in fantastic shape. And 2 shows were recorded. How the hell they recorded it, Lord knows, because there's, 65, about 70 kilometer winds blowing.
Yeah.
And when you look at the shots of the microphones, there's about this much foam on this microphone.
Yeah.
So some of the sounds suffered a little bit. Jimmy's guitar amp sounded okay, the bass was okay, his vocal was a little muffly. I mean, it had everything inside this piece of foam. All underwear and socks, God knows what the hell they had. But the cool thing is, they did record 2 shows. Now, these knuckleheads who were doing the movie, all right, you're there to film Jimi Hendrix. You would have thought, somebody would have said, we need plenty of film. They ran out of film after 17 minutes.
Oh, my.
That's it.
Yeah.
But the guys with the tape machine, they were cool.
They went right through.
Yeah. So what I ended up doing for this Maui release was mix the 2 shows, and they actually sound pretty darn good. I mean, the band are playing great.
Yeah. No, it really sounds good. You had to come back later to do something with Mitch Mitchell, I think, with the drums. So
the one thing I really did suffer, unfortunately, with the drums.
Yeah.
I think out of all the performances, maybe 30-40% of them were okay sound-wise, with a lot of me tweaking and music. Every tool in the box, every out of the box, analog and digital, trying to make the stuff work.
Yeah.
We got that to sound good. But when Mitch and I listened to the tapes when they came back, and we sat down and we said, man, and he looked at me and he says, yeah, I think I need to go in and overdub. So, but this was 2 months after Jimmy died. I mean, there was just no way emotionally we were ready to go to the club. Now, okay, when you walk into Electric Lady, if you've been there, you walk down the hallway which joins the 2 studios, and on the left side there's I think must be 20 of these built-in closets. And the first 2, nobody touched, because I had the key and the manager of the studio had the key, and that was Jimmy's tape locker. And it took every ounce of mental, so, okay, we got to open it up, we got to take the tapes out, we got to put them on and listen, okay, fine. And so when we did, we just felt, we got to do this. And we booked time. Mitch sat there with a video, a moviola,
Right.
16 millimeter film showing. You would watch his performance, listen to it a couple of times,
Yeah.
and I would roll tape, one take, maybe two at the most, and he'd play all the way through a song.
Wow. Yeah.
With the exact fills. I mean, wow.
Yeah. No, it's transparent on the album. That's fabulous. What's your space like there? This is the space that you work in right now, where you're sitting today.
It's a 10 by 10 room, kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got two dyno audio speakers. I'm waiting to get my ATC 25, which is really what I would like to use.
Yep.
But for now, I was working with Capitol Studios just the last few days, and my engineer out there, Chandler, he has, we're Studio C, Studio B, and they all have ATC 25s, which is my normal way of working.
Yep.
What he was hearing there and what I was hearing here, there was not that much difference. I mean, I was very lucky, it translated pretty well. Look, it's not a pro studio, but as long as who's ever on the other end can listen and say with accuracy, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah. And
all I have is a laptop. Now, once I hook up with Jason, we've got racks of outboard gear, which I use to integrate into the mix when we need it. I also have a tape machine there. There's a big investment in analog gear sitting there that we can, at a moment's notice, plug it right in to the mix.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're working even now out of this setup. This is it. This is your connection to the world. Yeah,
I mean, obviously I'm going to keep modifying. I'm going to put, bass traps in and all the rest of it. But I mean, literally, we moved here a month ago. The studio just got set up about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and here we are. We're rocking.
Yeah. Any projects you can talk about?
There's always work to be done with the Hendrix family. Always. There's always something we're working on. And we're currently doing that.
Yep.
It never seems to stop. I mean, we stopped for a while because of the COVID thing.
Yes.
And now I've got the family excited about working in this manner, and I think they're ready for it.
Fantastic. And so that connection you told me about just moments ago is the way that you connect outside and can continue to work.
Yeah, it's necessary because I'm not going on a bloody plane.
No.
Jamie isn't. John is. They're.
Yeah.
But the good news is that we can work. This is where it's at. The world has changed.
Oh.
Whether or not we will go back to the way it was, I don't know.
Who knows? Listen, I guess it was about 2 years ago we did that thing at Technicolor, that really nice surround space, and the Electric Ladyland was just out, and you introduced that to that small group of people that we heard that. For people like me that knew every note, we knew every swell and every pan. You just recreated that in that 5/1 format. It was absolutely fabulous. But what really added to that was all those pictures that you showed, and the stories that you told as well. Now you got a book you've been.
Yeah, I know.
Where is that?
The move and everything has been tough trying to get back into that, but I'm nibbling away at it.
Yeah.
We hope to. I mean, if I can finish the book by early spring, and we want to start working on the movie. Get the book published, start working on the documentary From the Other Side of the Glass. That's what it's called.
Yes.
And I mean, it's a strange new world. And the crazy thing is, I get as many calls as I had before. I'm still getting them, and different ones from different parts of the world, because people are home. They go, hey, I got this song. Can you mix it for me? And I go, well, if you got the budget and the song sounds okay, I'll give it a listen.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I have to say thank you for the, as they say in Japan, domo arigato for the isopuck. Very nice.
Oh, wonderful. No, that's
Yeah.
great. Now your commute is so much shorter to your work, and so your day is just.
Sort of stumble out of bed,
Yep.
roll over in the couch. Here I am,
Fabulous.
Listen, I gotta go because I got another person coming in on the line. So
Thank you so much for your time, Eddie. I always enjoy talking to you, and
let's do this again. We'll talk about some other stuff. Let's make a time maybe in a week or so. We can do some more stuff. Maybe after Christmas.